Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Dishonored Blind. I am in the sewers.
He used some kind of explosive to blast his way out. That doesn't happen by accident.
You think he had help? Who'd know how to do that?
Bottle Street gang, maybe. Watch for booby traps. Could be some down here by the look of it.
Good. If we're lucky, one of them will get Corvo.
You're afraid of him? He's Sir Conan. It's all merchants and whores down there.
Kids like you never saw what he was like. I saw him fight 3 to 1 in the practice yard. He's a whirlwind.
I hope it's me that finds him.
I hope it is too.
But where are they? Also, what are the rats doing? They are kind of weird. Corvo, if you're reading this, that means our plan worked and you have broken free from Coldridge. One of our contacts has hidden weapons for you somewhere deeper in the sewers. Grab gear and find Samuel where the tunnels dump out into the river. He will bring you to us, a friend who will meet you soon. Cannot be opened. Okay, so I need to go through here. So the rat swarms are capable of eating people alive. And very quickly. Okay, that's probably good to know. Dunwall Water District main drain. No one will keep us from death. You cannot kill the rat plague. Rats are eating our babies. You cannot kill the rat plague. Barrow Street. But why do they have street names in the sewers? Like, I guess maybe that's for maintenance people to know under which street they are? Warning, possible sewage overflow during heavy rain. Interestingly enough, the rats don't seem to be that interested in trying to eat me. Blood from the eyes. Is that one of the symptoms of the rat plague? Okay, so that's, I guess, lovers that died together. At least they had each other as they died. Which, you know, if you are going to die, it's better if you have someone close nearby than if you're dying alone. Damien's journal. Amanda and I only had enough coin to buy half the elixir we needed. Even that's all gone now, and there's nothing to do but wait. We are very sick and there is no place above to hide from the city watch. They are breaking into all the houses all over the district. So we'll have to stay here and share the last hours together. Our fire will keep the rats away, but they will inherit this city. No trespassing. A bunch of advertisement. Blue powder, best quality. Preston Club, shoes. Best quality shoes. The outsider walks among. Outsider. That seems significant as kind of foreshadowing. Yeah, the one of the graffiti mentioned blood from the eyes, and this guy looks kind of blind. Like, does the rat plague turn you blind? No dumping allowed. Drain to Renhaven River, which is where I'm supposed to go.
Aren't we supposed to load the bodies into carts headed to the flooded district?
Yeah, but screw that. That's too far. I don't want to catch the plague, do you?
No. Doesn't the elixir prevent it?
Maybe. Either way, let's just dump them down there. Let the rats eat them.
Okay, so I suppose I should dump the bodies, you know, somewhere over here, so that the rats are preoccupied while I turn the crank. But I still want to go around to make sure I don't miss anything.
Attention Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the City Watch at once.
Rat skewer. The outsider walks amongst us. Okay, I guess I can probably climb that. Indeed. I cannot go down there, at least. Oh, I can, but there's just nothing here. Okay, let's just climb up then. No one will keep us from death. You cannot kill the rat plague. And this symbol with the bones again. It appeared in the prison. Copper wire. How does copper wire translate directly into coins? That seems a bit stupid, unless I have like a mint in my backpack. Is that a trap? Was I shot by something? Yeah, I guess it maybe was a trap, because this looks, I wasn't paying attention, but this looks like a place where a wire could have been. Which I guess tells me to pay more attention in the future, right? Bottle Street. Yeah, projectile launcher. Incendiary bolt. Disinfecting fluid. Fine quality. The hound pits, which I've already read. Pierro's remedy, known to stop sickness and improve the emotional energy of women. What does that even mean? Okay, some corpses. Sewer gate key needed. Hemlock essence. Okay, I'm not sure what I just did. Like, what significance did blowing out the candles have? To the Lord Protector. Greetings, Corvo. Or should I say Lord Protector, as you were known before that title was wrongfully taken from you. We are servants of the Empire and of the true Empress. A group of loyalists want very much to meet you. Take these weapons, crafted from the finest materials in the Isles, and meet with our man Samuel, near where the tunnels split into Renhaven River. All haste and luck. We share a common purpose. Press and hold middle mouse button to open the quick access wheel. Select the gadget and power you want to equip in your left hand and release to confirm. Assign a hotkey to a weapon or power by selecting that item and pressing the shortcut key. There are 10 shortcut keys to reconfigure in the options. Okay, so is the crossbow a non-lethal weapon? Because if not, then what's even the difference between it Okay, the middle mouse button doesn't work that well in my... Although do I really need it, I guess. Not like... I only need it after I have more than 10 items. Let me go and check. Okay, I read all of that. Lord Regent minted coins. Restores health. Yeah, what I wanted to check is Corvo's crossbow, a silent exotic weapon crafted from the finest materials, used to launch bolts, sleep darts, and incendiary missiles. Yeah, so those are sleep darts. They put enemies to sleep after a short delay. Okay, that's very good to know. Nothing to display as far as... So I will be using those, mostly. Yeah, and this is a tripwire. Jelly, in case you're too daft to remember, look to your whiskey for the answer. Whiskey, got it? If you want your share, you'll sort it out. If not, I'll come back for it next month. Okay, so there's something... Ah, okay. There's a clue to the safe. 451. Yeah, which is like one of the most famous combination of numbers for, I guess, for games, period, but specifically for immersive sims. Like it tracks back all the way to, I think, Thief 1. Like it appeared in Thief, in Deus Ex, in Prey, in Bioshock, in System Shock, and it all like traces back to the Looking Glass studio. I'm pretty sure, like basically the people who made those who were involved in those games. I'm pretty sure it was originally Looking Glass Studio from Thief, and it's like a number of their office or something in the building. So I am going to put in the description like a more detailed explanation, as well as the like the list of all of the titles in which 451 appears. Combination required. Yeah, but how do I input that? Okay, right here. For some reason I was convinced this is the safe.
Won't get past me, sir.
Do you know who we're hunting here? Don't try to take him out alone.
But what if no one from the squad is around?
Then try to make a lot of noise when you die. Knock something over if you can.
Bastard. Smells like a dead weeper in here.
Drop from an enemy and above. Just before landing to perform a drop assassination. You won't take any damage from the fall. Yeah, but I don't want to assassinate him though. That's the problem. Where's the other guy? Okay, this guy's pissing.
They come here to die sometimes in the dark. Just slip into the water. What the fuck?
Great. Perform a lethal counterattack. Yeah, the problem is, I don't want to. That's an absolute waste of a sleep dart arrow. But you know, I prefer that to reloading. Like reloading needlessly seems cheap to me. So you know, I consider the lost resources to be my punishment. Sealed by the order of the City Watch. Warning: pestilence. This facility has been condemned to enter on penalty of death.
Seen anything scary? Bug someone else. Nasty furry filth. Huh?
again, okay, this is... I was perfectly behind him. Like, it should have been possible for me to... It should have been possible for me to take him out. I don't know why it sometimes doesn't trigger, even though... Oh. Even though I am in a position where reasonably it should.
Heard something. Nasty furry filth. Maybe wind or something. Something? Oh, I'll find it.
Gabe Skull?
Let's feed him to the house! Got you now! Watch it!
I wonder if I'll ever get like a possibility for non-lethal melee takedowns.
Nasty furry filth. Get around it! Get it! Take it!
I wonder if he did classifies as dead. Like if they fall unconscious into the water, then logically speaking, they should drown, right? Damn it.
Weird going on. Keep around it. Flank it. Get around it. Metal. Watch out. Yeah. Damn you. Let's feed him to the house. Ha. Fall down already.
What are they even throwing at me? Like, that doesn't sound like they are shooting me. Are they like throwing knives or something?
Nasty furry filth.
Someone help me out.
Get around him. Eat metal.
I wonder how difficult is it to replenish those sleeper darts, because I totally wasted them like on nothing basically. But I don't want to keep reloading. That seems cheap to me. It's here by the Wrenhaven I'll make my last home. It stinks to the void, but my grandmom's hagfish stew will drive the odor away. I remember sailing out on the river to the great ocean, that vast blinding light and blue water. I was a tender 15, and our nests were always full to bursting. The old days before everything went to shit. Anyway it goes, it's either the boots of the watch against my skull, the teeth of the rats on my bones, or the trembles of the plague all over my skin. Don't matter none to me. Well, if he is dead, then where's the body? Blood from the eyes. Again.
Attention Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Any evidence as to his whereabouts must be delivered to the City Watch at once.
It was a train above me. For rent. And it's a dumpster.
Over here. Quickly, I'm a friend. I'm Samuel, and I work for some good people who want very much to meet you. Well, they said you'd come out here. I can still hardly believe it. I'll take you to meet them. Just down the river from here.
Yeah, sure. I was done with that location. Mission stats. Dead bodies found, but not the civilians killed, hostile killed 0. Okay, didn't kill anyone. True. I didn't ghost it, that's for sure, and I probably never will. Wow, there's quite a lot of coins that I didn't find. But sure, I'm not going to replay it just to look for gold. Let's continue. Hidden in a old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the Loyalists' inner circle to learn what they've got in mind.
This is the Hound Pit's pub, closed for business, half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, He can. I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress. I'm sure the Admiral is anxious to meet you. It wasn't easy getting you here. I wouldn't hang about if I were you. From what I understand, time's getting short.
Yeah, I will follow the main objective for now, because I presume the game will probably open up later. You cannot kill the rat plague. Okay, so I guess... Is this where I'm supposed to go, or this? Maybe I will walk around a little bit. It's quite a... The outsider walks amongst us, and this symbol again. It's quite a few doors I can open. Emma's hardware. Houndpate's key needed.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
So I could go out into the streets, but I don't think I should. Yeah, you know what? I'll just go. I'll go with the main objective for now to sort of get my bearing, and then I'll continue. Where's the... Okay. So judging from where he's standing, I assume I have to go in here.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock, a true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes. Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested. Good to have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown. Have you talked to Piero yet? He made the weapons we left for you on your way out of Coleridge Prison. Go see him when you can. You don't know what it means to work with a man who stood at the Empress's right hand. We can't bring her back, but at least we have the man she trusted most. And maybe we can help you right some of the wrongs done to you. This bar is mine, but please, treat it as your home. Piero still wants a word with you. He's not a diplomat, but he's a brilliant man. Samuel is a blessing. Without him, we couldn't navigate the waters of the river at night. We keep our lights low to avoid prying eyes. What I wouldn't give to be back at sea. I told them I'd be damned if I sail under a usurper's flag. You should have seen their faces. Curse the Lord Regent. I might have taken to piracy after the Navy, but then inspiration struck me, and I started assembling our little group here. The Empire was built on its Navy. Never forget that. I served proudly until the bureaucrats took over. Pendleton's a good man. Used to be close to that snake, the Lord Regent himself. Don't be fooled by the fact that Pendleton's a noble, though. Not all of them are terrible. I bought this bar years ago. There were some happy times here before the plague hit the city. Before the Empress was killed and everything went to shit. We'll make it right again, together.
Okay, I've exhausted the dialogue options with him. What? Why can't I? Okay, that was weird. Okay, this opens to the street, which I shouldn't go out yet. At least I don't think I should.
Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy the river crust. Any items
I wanted to talk with the other guy as well. Is he anywhere here? Okay, this kind of goes into the Hero's Workshop key needed. Okay. Okay, this goes to a basement or like to the sewers, which is interesting. Processed whale oil. Old Port District sewer key needed. Where's the other guy? The noble.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the Loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him. I don't need to tell you, if the authorities investigated this place, we would be hard-pressed to explain ourselves. We brought a few trifles over from Pendleton Manor. A touch of home in these trying times. Your room in the loft should assure your privacy. Lord Pendleton was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, but there was a great shuffling of the aristocratic families. My lord was attacked by vipers from all sides. I understand you were once welcome at court, before the murder. May I say I am relieved to have another man here who knows the courtly world. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that. There's something distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised. Did you know I'm distant kin to the late Empress and her line? Not close enough, sadly. I'll never be emperor. Most of the nobility went straight over to the Lord Regent's side after the Empress died. Easiest thing to do. But to me, a noble birth requires a sense of loyalty. This city has fallen into ruin since the plague struck. These poor weepers moaning and bleeding from the eyes. They say there's no cure for the plague once it advances that far. Terrible.
Okay, I'm not going to steal things that clearly belong to my allies. At least I'll try to refrain from that.
My furnishings have been in installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Yeah, clearly others have, don't know the true meaning of adversity, as opposed to you, who is clearly a rich, privileged bastard whose current circumstances he considers to be so horrible because they are so removed from the opulent luxury he's most likely used to. I'm tempted to steal all of this stuff, but I won't. It's rude.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. With Pendleton's voting block and my military connections, all we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point? We need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell is
the... Okay, so there's Admiralty and the Fleet, except from a book on naval history, with each of the isles... while each of the isles has some form of a naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Bristol, with its long, proud history of great ships and the admirals who command them. Boys come of age in the cities of Bristol, hoping to someday captain such a ship, and family dynasties are made by those captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In times of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul up their kill over the deck and begin their butchery and processing, even as the ship returns to Dunwall. The crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Wrenhaven River, coming to dock at one of the powerful warehouse companies such as the Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by the setting sun, the silhouette of one of those creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 1. A Gaffer's Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I left Tivia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who has raised us since childhood, leaving behind our family city, our home city of Yarrow, and the cold but beautiful white landscapes we had always known. We boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to Tivian furs. Once I had helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I have ever done, and I saw it as a means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew, and eventually my own fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I had not seen her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of the great beasts up close. Nothing had ever fired my spirits so as the wind and pounding waves, racing after a wounded whale, being pulled by a skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned and sinewy with muscle, weathered creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes. but she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. There was volume 2, right here. A Gaffer's Final Passage. After more than a quarter of a century, I am done with whaling, too broken to continue. I've seen all of the corners of the Isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime, but it's all gone. I've lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the known world and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandisia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by ugly, weather-scarred men who would knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleet, as we tracked the first bull whale I have seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I am jaded and bitter, it is because the industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. It has been days since our men were dispatched to stash the weapons for Corvo in the old sewer. They have not returned, so I can only hope they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piero spent a considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as the dominant force of the globe. But back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of Coldridge, and if so, will he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Well, to be honest, I'm not, like... They made it quite easy for me to escape. They've literally delivered me a key. Pubmaster room key. Okay, you know what? I will steal that, because I want to explore everything I can. They've literally delivered me the key. I didn't even have to, like, you know, use a lockpick or anything.
My, you must be Corvo. I am Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready. When they told me who it was, well, I thought you'd be older, like the Admiral. I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it? I used to be the hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me. You can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for. I hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
Yeah, I actually want to steal your key.
River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact.
How do I...
Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
How do I hide the weapons? Actually, I would prefer not having them out, because it's a bit intimidating. I wanted to click this so that I can steal the key. Because it is an item, right? Like, it looks like an item I could pick up. Yeah, Havelock room key. Yeah, but wait, the room was literally opened before. So, what's the point of this key? Maybe that's for later. Harpooner's songs. What will we do with a drunken whaler early in the morning? feed him to the hungry rats for dinner, slit his throat with a rusty cleaver. Yeah, it's what shall we do with a drunken sailor? One of them was actually whistling it.
Do not attempt to house or care for a friend or family member who shows signs of blood on their face and chest area. The only way to help them is to bring them to the City Watch. They will be taken to the flooded district for treatment.
Yeah, treatment. Sure. Litany of the White Cliff, except from a series of Overseer invocation. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd. For the foggy grey waste of the outsider, we will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions, so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt. Okay, I read that already. Young Prince of Tivia. Except from a theatre play. Lord Nathan Boyle shaking with outrage. How dare you, sir, clothed so in my very home? I shall hand you over to the watch, depraved Tivian. Prince Kalisar moving closer. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone. What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, you pale rascal. Smiling coyly, reaching out. No need for anger between us, Lord Boyle. Is it so wrong for me to be here? I have proven I've developed an affinity for you and your family. Lord Nathan Boyle. Oh my, your skin is so warm it burns. What? How am I supposed to read that? Okay. Shadow of Bitter Leaf. Except from a longer work of fiction, finding my way by the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise esoteric patterns, knots and loops of seamstress craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer as she turned her blank face towards me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone she addressed me. So you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful, and now it is your turn to be mended. Okay, that looks like a workshop of sorts.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Okay, this goes back here. I was supposed to talk to the engineer guy before I go to bed, but I still want to go up. Corvo's chambers. Okay, so I take it whatever is in here I can take. Sokolov's elixir, the most popular formula in the city, promotes robust health and fitness. Sure to protect your family from the ravages of the rat plague, bitter leaf crematorium and fluid works allow us to remove your departed loved ones. Okay. Greaves lightning oil, high grade and undiluted. Golden cat.
The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress, but something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right. Admiral Havelock made it very clear that we aren't to carry lamps outside. Maybe you haven't seen much of it, but the city has changed a great deal after the Empress died. Since the Lord Regent took over, the city watch is best avoided. Most people try not to go outside at all. We can't leave the pub. I've nowhere to go anyway. My apartment was in the flooded district.
Okay, so this is the roof I was already on before. Okay, there are some dolls in here, which is kind of vaguely creepy. Trials of Aptitude. I've read that already. It is about inducing children in some kind of a mystical order. Except from a work of fiction, Call to the Spheres, my stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orcado, third prefect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's undulations. Orcado pulled a lever and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. And the Fugue Forest. The Fugue? Fugue? To be honest, I have no idea how to... no, it's actually not even a forest, but I have no idea how to read this word. Anyway, a feast. At the end of every year, at the last day of the month of songs, we begin the feast. The new year has not yet started, and thus the time that follows is outside the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes, euphoric with spirits and potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear masks to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. With the right cosmological signs are observed, and it is time for the calendar to begin anew, the sitting high overseer calls for the hymn of atonement, and the feast ends. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands. Enemies put down their weapons, and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, or discarded oaths. For this time during the astrological alignment does not exist and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year. marked on the first day of the month of the Earth, as it has always been. So wait, so it is like the Purge. Like, you can do whatever, and it officially didn't happen. It is literally the Purge. I don't think I can go up. Okay, let's try and go and look for that Piero guy.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
Okay, I'll be sure to explore the rest of it, but no, this one's empty. I need a whole one. Oil tank refill pump. Connect empty tank to a pump nozzle. Pull the lever once and wait for the tank to fill. Okay, I need an empty one. I thought this was already a full one, but it just shows me that I need to put it here. Empty tank required. I know, I already have one. What are you talking about? This is literally an empty tank. And unless I'm supposed to take the same one he was using? But if so, that was worded in a pretty confusing
A new tank, please.
and unclear way. What? No, but what? I did click on it before, and it's okay. That's a bit embarrassing, but
Perfect. Now plug it in. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Center lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
well, what can you make for me? Okay, sleeping bolts. I am buying all of those. And upgrades. Crossbow accuracy. Lowers dispersion and stabilizes the crossbow. Crossbow range. Crossbow bolts travel faster and further. Reload. Sleep dart's sedative effect is immediate, even in combat. A standard bolt capacity, but I don't want the standard bolt capacity. Allows you to magnify your view. Left alt to zoom. Enables one additional bone charm. Okay, I will leave the rest because I don't know what is going to be important yet. So
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
I'll look around.
Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more.
Specifically, I wanted to explore your workshop.
Tell me what I can make for you.
Piero's request is denied. I will not sign off on those purchases. A bag of powdered crystal? Tivian ore? What's wrong with the metals in crystal? King Sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid off by tariff and handed out willy-nilly. But this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so we've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they are absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of that odd crap you seem to need. Second solution. Except from a series of newspaper articles from a prominent natural philosophers, it is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy, spending their coins as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of those concoctions as a means of resisting the remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. The plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those afflicted, and it's nearly perfect, elegant in fact. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood, which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. It is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest, for you see, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is crass goo better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless, blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Renhaven River. Okay, so I guess his potion is probably like a mana potion from the description of it. Stop. Oh, I didn't particularly want to steal that. I thought I could look at it because it was a map. Sokolov's technology and a new age. One of the advantages of Sokolov's technologies is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed whale oil they use as fuel. When a tank is exhausted, another one can be plugged into its place with ease, and the process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsman of the city watch can handle the task. This applies to the Arc pylon and the Wall of Light security systems, as well as the powered carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Sokolov's designs is the volatility of the tanks themselves. A few incidents have occurred, resulting in damage to property or bodily harm wherever one of those tanks have exploded. Okay, this is suspicious.
absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
So I guess he wants to create a human substitute for whale oil? Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regards to the supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in a correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used while handling the full tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Greaves Oil Company has done something correctly for once. Except from the founder of the Greaves Whalehouse by Ebenezer Greaves. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from the several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it is caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to the port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Yeah, I suppose I'm going to learn quite a lot about whaling in this game, which might be interesting. Whale vivisection, except from the notes of a natural philosopher. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variants in physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 feet in length. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within I found row upon row of teeth and a baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assume she filtered food from water that was too small to be chewed. Dead counter responsibilities. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the glowing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict and curfew enforcements, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms, called weepers in the common parlance. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers might apply for the test, and if accepted, for the 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coins and rations of elixir, at 1.5 normal pay grade. Excerpt from a series of lectures on natural philosophy by Piero Joplin. Of course I have attempted to improve on Sokolov's designs, of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy, We are all part of a community striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those amongst us who possess the greatest minds are often led to fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say it, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he has cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but sometimes you will not. But someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at the Sokolov's arc pylon or the wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but the evidence of your own limited imagination. Door to nowhere? Is he like is he working on teleportation? Or something? It's pretty wild.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized.
You've met Piero.
Will be
Good.
subject to interrogation.
You'll want to get some rest now.
When necessary.
You'll be needed soon.
Remember, the boldest
Lord
measures are
Pendleton's
the
servant,
safest.
Wallace, awaits you upstairs. He can show you to your chambers. Sleep well.
Is the man dangerous?
Yes, very much so, but no need to fear. He is here to work with our masters.
People say he killed the Empress.
Of course he didn't. People are foolish and believe whatever they're told.
Okay. If the Admiral trusts him, then so will I.
Please follow me to your quarters. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Are you coming? I will go with him because he might offer some additional commentary.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The Old Port District has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
This is your room. It was chosen to give you privacy. I understand you'll need your rest. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Okay, this episode has been long enough. In fact, it has been a little bit too long, but I wanted to explore the entirety of the bar and talk with everyone in a single episode. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.